Are you reading anything?
Right now? No,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
No, you fuck. Like when you leave,
Yeah,
and you go
actually.
home. What are you reading?
I'm studying psychology right now,
Yeah,
so I've been trying to get up
nerd.
on like
God.
the basics.
Okay.
I've been reading a lot of essays by Freud recently.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Okay.
I do get a little tired of the essay format though, and that's when I'm like, gotta read a comic book or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of comics for
Yeah.
you if you want.
Really?
Yeah,
More?
more.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I have the first volume of Spawn. You can have.
Okay.
I've been reading Deadly Class.
What is that?
It
You've
is-
told me about this.
Yeah, it is. I got the compendium of it, so I've been reading the entire series. It's written by Rick Remender, and it's in the 1980s. It's all about these kids who are brought to a school to learn how to be like the best assassins in the world.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's really good. It's a little nihilistic.
Okay.
Like the main character, he's very nihilistic. And
I'd assume a book about learning how to kill people
yes,
would be a little nihilistic.
I feel like it's a book that you're either gonna love or think it's really pretentious.
Why is that?
Mostly because the main character is like very pretentious. Like
Sure, yeah.
But he's also young. You know, he's like 15. Actually, you really grow with the characters. You know,
Is
like,
this aimed towards younger readers?
no?
Oh, okay.
No, it is very violent. There's sexual. There's nipples. It is a violent sexual book. Kids are doing drugs. You know, and I was reading the, I guess the introduction or the afterword by the writer, and he put a lot of his own experiences from growing up in the 80s in, I don't remember if it was LA or the city or wherever he grew up, but just how
his experiences killing people.
not the killing part, but like the drugs, and it's very like punk rock.
Sure, yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
there's a lot of punk rock music, underground music kind of influence to it. It's a very interesting book. And then, you know, kids with katanas. It's cool. Like the characters are really good.
Is it very gory?
Very gory, and it's one of those books that like when you get attached to a character, get ready because they're gonna die.
Oh, really?
There's like, I like when you start. It's one of those books that when you start caring about the character, they're gonna get the most horrific death.
Just like Transformers.
Just like, yeah. No, it is like no one is safe, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
You know, even the main
Keeps
character
you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
I like that too. There's something nice to like the permanence of the traditional comic book story, but it always adds to the stakes to know that these characters could die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one for a very nihilistic, like bitter take on comic books. You know, like Garth Ennis, who writes like The Boys and Preacher, and even Invincible can be a little more like, you know, sour on like comic book
Sure,
media,
yeah.
which I enjoy it to an extent, but I think it really depends on like if the characters progress. You know, like if characters that just have one singular view on something and then continue to have it through like a 50-issue story arc, I'm like, this just is boring.
Do you feel that way about The Boys?
Yes.
Oh.
Like I know Jason really likes the Boys comic, and the I like the show for like the first 2 seasons, but it's just kind of repetitive. It's just like, what's gross in this episode?
Yeah.
Who's gonna fuck who in this episode?
They
Is there a
definitely
dick in this
rely
one?
on shock factor in the show.
Yeah,
I haven't read the books, but
yeah, the books are even more shock value, which is fine. You know, like sometimes, you know, if you like stories that are just like, whoa,
it's fun
really
to be
gross.
shocked.
Yeah.
It's fun to be grossed out.
Especially with like, see, I think why The Boys works, at least the comic and the show, is because they're like the first kind to kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've never seen like Superman be a pervert, you know?
Yeah.
So when you see it, it's like, whoa, that's really shocking, and I want to keep reading it or watching it. But then it's like, I've had my fill. You know, I don't need any more of it.
Yeah. But you don't feel that way about like the alternative of Superman being a good person?
I mean, I guess in a way, but I feel like there's always more elements to being good.
Okay.
Probably because there's always more. I mean, there's always, you know, elements to bad, like different. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Because the times are always changing, you know, and people are always getting worse and worse. So I feel like Superman always has to kind of prove himself and why a character like him or why superheroes are necessary.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it would be bad for you to do certain bad things at any time.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to grow in order to still be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Deadly Class is a lot more tasteful in the way they do like gore, and even though it's like it's 15-year-olds like doing drugs and like fucking killing each other, it's horrific stuff, but it's really well written. You know, and I like the art a lot. And
Who does the art? Do you know?
Wes Craig, I can't remember anything I've ever seen him do, and it's a very particular art style.
Okay.
But it's I like it a lot. I really enjoy it. I threw in the first volume if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it went on for quite a bit, so I don't know how many volumes there are, but like you said, it's one of those things that like you'll either really like it or think it's pretentious and you'll stop reading it.
It looks like Wes Craig's mainly done Deadly Class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. His art's very
He did
particular.
G.I. Joe.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It looks, yeah.
That's so nuts. Oh, he did a little Gotham City. Oh,
What?
he did the All In saga for DC.
What
Where
is
he did
that?
a little bit. That is a new thing. You don't know about All In?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, DC Comics went all in.
Oh, really?
Scott Snyder, the guy who made the Court of Owls story, he and I believe Jason Aaron, Kelly Thompson, a bunch of other writers, they all started doing something kind of like the Marvel universe or the Ultimate Universe over at Marvel. They started doing the Absolute Universe at DC, which is just like new interpretations of like Superman and Batman. And
Is the Flash wear an epic suit of armor? What? Or is that not the Flash?
that is Absolute Power.
Oh,
Another
okay.
event.
Does it corrupt? Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
shit.
It does. We'll talk about the all-in Absolute Universe one day. It's very interesting. Wonder Woman is fantastic. Absolute Wonder Woman, best Wonder Woman series I've read in years.
Really?
It is so good. She's, instead of like a Greek god, she's more of a witch.
Okay.
Yeah, they switch it up.
I could see that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really great. Really great. Batman's good. He's just Batman, but he's not rich, and his mom's alive.
Okay.
It's interesting. And Superman is depressed. Nah, there's more to it. His costume's really cool.
I think
but
we've talked a little bit about Absolute Superman, but maybe not.
maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a recent thing. Absolute Flash and Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Green Lantern. I think those are all the titles right now. And so far, it's a very promising universe. It seems to be going very well. Absolute Batman is like, it got reprinted like so many times. It's like, I'd say it's probably the number one selling comic of the year.
Do you think it's more entertaining to see those characters rethought or to see new characters based on those characters?
Like what Invincible does?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's like a good segue into what we're going to talk about. I think if you do something new and interesting
Yeah.
with those same characters that we've known since 1938, then yes. Or if you use different characters that aren't always used. Like like what this book does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Off the Shelf podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Vinny.
This is the book club podcast where we take books off Vinny's shelf and talk about them. And today we're talking about Black Hammer.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Black Hammer.
I didn't know this existed until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's I told you about it.
Yeah.
I feel like I tell you about a lot of things.
Yes.
But
everything comic related has come from you.
Black Hammer is written by Jeff Lemire with art by Dean Ormston. Yeah. Ormston. And it's produced by Dark Horse Comics, who also made Hellboy and a bunch of other stuff. And we've talked about Jeff Lemire previously with Gideon Falls, but he's written so much.
Yeah.
He's written a lot for DC and a lot of independent stuff. He's also an artist, and his art is very particular, and I like it. He did a book called Sweet Tooth, which is about like a apocalyptic world of like animal human hybrids.
Did we talk about that on a Halloween episode?
We didn't. We probably mentioned it during the Gideon Falls episode, but we didn't give it its full episode. You would dig that.
Really?
You would really like that book. It's wacky. It's really good.
I think it's interesting. You brought up Hellboy.
Yeah.
Which is like, maybe, do you think that's the most well-known Dark Horse comic?
Yes.
Probably, right? Like, it's pretty up there.
Well, I mean, I think because also the Alien and the Predator are also Dark Horse. So
those are pretty big as well.
It's probably a toss-up between them and Hellboy. But this, when I read Black Hammer, it gives me like Hellboy vibes.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I've only read the first part of the first volume, so I'm behind, but
it's okay.
But I was going to say it definitely gives off Hellboy vibes.
Yeah, and I think what really does it is two things. It has a very like pulpy, old-fashioned superhero kind of
even old-fashioned like sci-fi.
Yeah. Like Hellboy is like a good amalgam of like all things sci-fi and Lovecraft and mythology, and this is also kind of like less horror but more sci-fi kind of superhero elements to it. And what we were talking about before with like those allegory characters, like the boys in Invincible have a Superman, they have like a Wonder Woman, a Flash, But the reason I love Black Hammer so much is because they use characters that you don't typically see,
like
Shazam, and Captain America and Martian Manhunter, and and it just makes, and having them all together really makes for an interesting story. And with Jeff Lemire at the helm, he's one of my favorite writers. I love his horror comics. I love his DC work too. He did some Green Arrow. He did a bunch of stuff, But Black Hammer for me is probably my favorite thing that he's done.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. Or Sweet Tooth. It's a toss up between them. And Dean Ormston, I feel like I've never seen his art on anything besides this, but I love it. I think it has like a really, and I don't mean this in like a negative way, but it has like a really gross kind of feel to it. Yeah. Or like a real world dingy, like, ugh,
Where like you want to look at it, but you don't want to look at it.
I don't know how to explain, but I love it. I think the art perfectly goes well with this universe and
it's a very strange kind of style, but it fits a strange story.
Yeah. And I think what really makes this story pop is like, I think what Jeff Lemire does with these characters is he really makes them like a one-to-one with Captain America. Right? But to an extent. Like Omni-Man from Invincible, clearly he looks like Superman, but he, his origins are a little different. He was sent to Earth to conquer it instead of, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's a much more deeper inspiration that Jeff Lemire uses. Like, so I'll use Captain America, for example, right? There's a character in this book, Abraham Slam. Epic name. I love that. he has the same exact origin. He was a scrawny little weakling who wanted to fight in the war. They told him no because he was a little bitch or whatever. And then, I mean, instead of taking super drugs and getting jacked, he just hits the gym and then becomes a superhero.
He works for it.
He just works for it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's Captain America's origin. But what they do with it kind of, like, after the fact, after all these heroes are out of, like, the golden age era of superheroes and they're left to, like, this new world, you really get a lot of characterization that is very fun, but also, like, haunting with some of these characters.
Because they're, like, nostalgic for the time when they were on top, and now it's, like...
Jeff Lemire clearly wants to talk about the golden age of superheroes.
Yeah. And I think that's clear even with the naming of the heroes in the book.
Yes.
You know?
Abraham Slam. Yeah. Golden Gale. You know, like, these are...
They sound like classic superhero names.
They do. And I really like that. Instead of, like, a modern interpretation of Superman, it harkens back to the golden age of, you know, these characters. Like, Captain America existed at that point. You know?
Or, like I don't know if Talkie Walkie is necessarily any specific character, but he's like an embodiment of robot characters from you know, from comic books.
Exactly, and it's just sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know, but characters like Colonel Weird are an allegory for Adam Strange. In DC Comics, there's a character, Adam Strange, who is like a sci-fi space explorer. You know, he's always going to other planets. And Colonel Weird is one of my favorite characters in this book because of how odd he is.
Would you say he's weird?
He's quite weird. The only character who I'm a little confused about who it's supposed to be is Madame Dragonfly. Because she is clearly like a Scarlet Witch type of allegory. But there's like some elements of maybe, I don't know, a couple just dark magic type of characters like Scarlet Witch, Enchantress, you know, like there's a couple characters that it could
like,
be,
or even like Raven, like
that type of character. But I think because of her origins, it's more Scarlet Witchian, and from the things that like you find out about her, and you know the strings that are attached with everything that goes on in the book. So the plot of this book is, and you find out a lot through flashbacks. Like when the book starts, you're on a farm in a small town, and all these wacky characters who used to be superheroes are living on this farm, faking being a family, and just all miserable, right? And you have like Abraham Slam, who he kind of acts as the dad or the grandpa.
I feel like he's maybe not as miserable.
He's not as miserable because he found somebody to connect with in the waitress at the diner, who is the woman he loves, right?
Yeah,
her name is Tammy.
He seems like he's content to just like live the farm life.
Yes, he is content to the point where he's kind of, everyone else is always like, we got to get off here, we got to find a way. It's been 10 years, and he's the only one that's kind of fine with it.
Yeah.
And nobody else really understands. Well, they understand, but they don't want him to, you know? And I really feel bad for Golden Gale in this. I feel like she's one of her and Barbalian are the two characters that are, like, really sympathetic to me. So, what you have read, have you gotten to, like, their backstories or their origins?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, Golden Gale is the Shazam character, but instead of being a little boy that turns into a big man, it's a adult woman that turns into a little girl. But it has the same like Shazam has the family, the Shazamily, if you will, or the Captain Marvel family. She also has other family superhero people who have the same power as her, but her origin is, she meets a wizard, says a word, becomes a little girl, you know? But because for some reason they're on this farmhouse, she's stuck in the body of a little girl as like a 60-year-old woman or a 50-year-old woman, however old she's supposed to be. So she, of course, is the most miserable because she wants to drink and smoke and have sex and, live her life as anybody should, but she's stuck in the body of a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So it's a living hell that she is in every day that nobody else quite understands.
Now, I haven't gotten very far into this book, but is this farm like Limbo?
You learn, like, from the get-go, something's wrong.
Right.
Like, they shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But you learn the inner workings of the farm and kind of why they're here and the nefarious kind of puppeteer who's behind it all. And, like, when you're introduced to everybody, immediately you need to know that Madame Dragonfly, for whatever reason, shouldn't be trusted. Like, she's not evil, but she secludes herself from everybody else. She's the witch that lives in the shack in the woods away from the farm, and she has her secrets. But characters like, Golden Gale and Abe, they try and make do with their family life. And it's really just like she has to go to school. She's this 50-year-old woman who has to go to, what, she's like 9 years old. What grade is that?
I think so. 6th, 5th grade? Yeah.
No, 9-year-old girl?
Yeah.
That's like 2nd grade.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
shit, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like 3rd or 4th
That's
grade.
like 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
But you're like an adult? That's horrible. It's like Billy Madison, but like worse. Because you don't want to.
It's like reverse Billy Madison.
Yeah. But so she's miserable, and she's always like,
but like, does she have to?
No,
right?
But they want to fool. I think they want to fool themselves into thinking it's normal.
Sure, yeah.
And like, she acts out. She is caught smoking cigarettes in the bathroom. She skips school. And everyone just thinks it's a bad little girl. Like, everyone just thinks that she's troubled, and she's, there's more to it. Barb Alien, who's the Martian Manhunter character, again, similar origin from Mars, but it's different because while Martian Manhunter's origin is his people were killed from the white Martians, here his origin is he on Mars, I guess like the High Council of Mars, they didn't want him to leave for Earth with his lover. And his lover happened to be a man. They kill his husband.
They have
assume.
Traditional gender roles on Mars.
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So they kill his love, and he escapes to Earth. And when he gets to Earth, he takes the form of a Spiral City detective or a cop. And, he infiltrates into society, or not infiltrate because it's not like evil.
Yeah, right.
Like, integrates. There we go. He integrates into society, becomes a cop, and of course, when I don't know what era it's supposed to be in, but since it's like a more golden age, I'm gonna assume 40s, 50s type of vibe for everything, in which homosexuality was not a thing that people were very open to at the time.
Yeah.
So when he makes advances to his police officer partner, he's called, horrible names for it. And of course he feels alienated even more than he already is.
Yeah.
And
not even for being an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that you have all these characters who are here for whatever reason, and through flashbacks you learn that Spiral City, which I guess is like their New York City, right? It is populated with superheroes like Abe, Golden Gale, and Black Hammer. Black Hammer is like the Thor-esque character. Not just because he holds a hammer, but because of the origins that you learn about him. And clearly Jeff Lemire wanted to just do a full homage to Jack Kirby, because not only was Thor created by Jack Kirby, and Black Hammer is modeled after Thor, but the origins of Black Hammer, where he comes from, is a perfect mix of Jack Kirby's Thor Asgardian work and DC's New Gods. He comes from a world that has like this Odin figure, right? But there's clear like Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, like those New Godsian characters, and then of course there's the anti-god.
Which is interesting because he's then drawing influence from characters who are drawing influence from another source.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, the anti-god is like a combination of Darkseid and Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that one fateful day, all the superheroes came together and fought off the anti-god. But something happened, and all the superheroes seemingly died or were transported somewhere else, and for 10 years, there's been no superheroes. Meanwhile, the superheroes have been on a farm somewhere, and they have no idea why.
Mm.
And this is the days of their lives, you know? And through the story, you get your answers, you know? And you learn that the Black Hammer, I forget what his name is. It's like Jack Weber or John Weber or something. But so there was like a Black Hammer, and then he died. And this guy, who I believe was also a cop or a scientist, I can't remember, but he finds the hammer and he becomes the new Black Hammer. And he has a wife and a daughter. And it's this really interesting like idea of, first, if Thor had a family.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's more important, fighting this god that's going to destroy the planet or your daughter's 10th birthday? You know, so obviously, like, you know what is more important, but your 10-year-old daughter's not going to care. She's going to be like, my dad's not here. Why doesn't he love me?
Is it? But it is like the power is within the hammer.
Yes.
It's like kind of Thor.
It is.
In the way where it's like, wielding the hammer gives you the power.
I don't think there's like a worthy element to it.
Okay.
It's just whoever gets it is just strong.
Yeah.
So you see like him try and balance like his work life,
the work-life
balance, yeah. And his daughter, who on the day that the anti-god attacks the world, she tells him like, I don't want you to die, don't go. And he's like, I'm not gonna die. He dies. Right. It's really terrible. Well, so originally they fight the anti-god, and then they're transported for some reason to this farm, and Black Hammer is like, well, we got to get out of here. And the way that they learn that they can't leave, or the way that they find that there's like a perimeter around, is Black Hammer flies a little too far and he is eradicated in a very gruesome, guts out. You see like his intestine, his skeleton, everything. He's done. And
he doesn't live through that?
No. And his hammer falls, and I guess in like a kind of a tribute or monument kind of way, they never moved the hammer. So,
well, also like if they picked it up, they would have the power.
The power of Black Hammer, I guess. And so now they know that they can't leave this farm, that there's like a barrier, and that if they go beyond the barrier, but the barrier extends farther than just the farm. They're able to go into the town, and that's where, Abe meets the waitress. Tammy falls in love. She has an ex-husband who is the sheriff. He's a huge dick. And Barb Alien, he, of course, is lonely. And he ends up developing a crush on the priest, which, of course, is a sin.
Yes.
And he thinks that the priest is making, like, sexual advances to him, and that they're like flirting with each other,
but they're not.
But the priest is not.
Oh. And
he makes a move, and the priest is like, whoa, what are you doing? This is a sin, what you're doing. Yeah. And it's just heartbreaking. Every character has like this really miserable time while they're on this farm. And I think you just saw right there, that character is Sherlock Frankenstein.
Oh, yes. He has a solo story, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. That's another reason I really feel the Hellboy influence.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a big world. Like there are spin-offs and other series, and Jeff Lemire was busy, you know, but it really expands everything.
It's still going, isn't it?
I don't
Or this
know.
universe?
I don't know.
Oh.
I feel like there's definitely every now and again something new, but it's not as current as, something like Marvel or DC puts out. But that character, Sherlock Frankenstein, he was like, just an evil guy. He's just like a Lex Luthor type villain, but he was like a corpse man, like a corpse billionaire scientist.
So why is he called Sherlock Frankenstein? Is he solving mysteries?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
But before Golden Gale was transported to this farm, she and him fell in love. So not only is she stuck in this body, but she's without the person that she's, in love with for 10 years. So she's like, he probably moved on. What if he died? I'm probably never going to see him again.
Yeah, he was pretty old.
He was pretty old. And you even learn that she has a thing for like ugly looking fellas. Or like, because when Barbalian is like, Gale, I met somebody, and he's talking about the priest. He's like, I think I can finally be happy. She thinks that maybe he has a crush on her. And he's like, whoa. I'm sorry, Gale, but like, you look like a 9-year-old girl.
So what? You think he's ugly?
Well, I think he's handsome.
Yeah.
But she has a thing for weird fellas.
Sure, yeah.
And each character is kind of, except for Abe, because he's like the only one who's kind of happy. But every character is kind of living in this emotional hell that they've been in for so long, but they are constantly trying to escape it. But there's like no clear, definite way to. But you have Talkie Walkie, who I believe Talkie Walkie is a female robot. I feel like somebody calls her she or uses pronouns she, her for her.
Okay.
I might be making that up. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think they also kind of imply like a subtle romance between her and Colonel Weird. Like maybe she, not because she's like capable of romantic feelings, but just they are always together with each other.
Yeah.
But she or they start creating probes, and she sends the probes out, or they send the probes out to try and get beyond the barrier and see if they can escape. Every time the probe comes back and it's destroyed. But we learn that Black Hammer's daughter, Lucy, is all grown up, and she's a journalist, and she still believes that for 10 years, she still believes that her dad is out there and that all the superheroes are still out there. So while we have all the heroes on this farm, we pick up with Lucy, who constantly is going to different people trying to find out if it's possible that these superheroes could still be alive. And she goes to a character who's supposed to, I believe he's probably supposed to be like the Atom. His name is Dr. Quantum. Or no, Dr. Andromeda.
He's supposed to be the Atom?
I think so.
Okay.
And with his help, she's able to touch one of the probes, and she is teleported into the farm as well. So now all the characters kind of get this glimpse of hope that if she's able to be...
If there's a way in, there's a way out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Lucy is, of course, heartbroken to find out that out of all the superheroes, the only one to die was her father. And she's like, she doesn't know what this town is, where this town is. And she does a lot of digging because she's a reporter, right? She's like a Lois Lane, you know? And I don't just mean like all reporters are the same. I just mean that Lois Lane is like a top go-getter, like no shit attitude kind of reporter.
She's definitely a character archetype for reporters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she goes to like the library and she wants to learn of like the town's history, but every book that she finds about the town is blank. So while the story kind of unfolds, you get like the string starts to unravel. Like, what is this town? Is it even real? Meanwhile, you have like Abe who wants to bring over his girlfriend for a night of, dinner and meeting the family.
Small town fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love moments like that though, because Tammy is like, why haven't you introduced me to your family? That like we're getting old. I want to settle down and be happy with you, but you won't, share your life with me. And he goes home that day. He's like, okay, guys, I need you to not be fucking weird. Okay. Let's pretend to be a real family. Let's cook something good for dinner. Don't embarrass me, please. And Colonel Weird is like, oh, don't worry. I'll make sure to be on my tip-top behavior.
Yeah, of course.
And Abe is like, listen, I'm sorry, but I don't want you at dinner. And it's like, it's heartbreaking. It's sad, but you understand it. Because Colonel Weird constantly, like, the characters are having emotional moments, and Colonel Weird is like, I flew in from the Parazone and my brain. Like, he's like,
that is the thing about Colonel Weird, though, right?
Yeah.
Is that like he's just seen too much.
He was a old-fashioned sci-fi explorer who went into something called the Parazone, and his brain was just fried from it. So but he knows that he's crazy, but he's not devoid of like reason.
Yeah.
He understands why Abe doesn't want him at dinner, but he's still heartbroken about it, and he even shows up and he like shaved his beard and he's in a nice suit and he puts on a good act, and the dinner night goes well. Tammy loves the family. Even Gail, she like acts out and she's like smoking cigarettes and she's like being a bitch, but everything goes like really well. And Colonel Weird is such an interesting character because there's something up with him, something he's not telling anybody, and something that Jeff Lemire lets the audience in on it, but he doesn't exactly tell you. Like, there is a mystery in this story, and it has something to do with either Colonel Weird and Dragonfly.
Something that's very Gideon Falls about this book.
Yeah, there's a mystery.
Yeah.
And even though this isn't like a straight horror book, there are horror elements, either body horror or, that existential horror.
Yeah.
And Madame Dragonfly, right? Like we said before, she is this Scarlet Witchian type character. And you learn through flashbacks in a very silly issue that's like, viewer beware, in for a scare. Like, the story that is about to unfold before you is not for the lighthearted, and you find that she was once a regular woman whose baby died, and she went to a witch, and the witch that gave her this kind of deal, I guess,
okay,
in a way, where if Dragonfly, I forget what her human name is, but before Dragonfly is Dragonfly, if she takes over for the witch, then her baby will be reborn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's why I say it's Scarlet Witchian, because it has that element of children, and Scarlet Witch is all about like having kids and magicking children and all that. But there's also this other element that she fell in love with this guy who then fell into the swamp and became like a Swamp Thing allegory.
Oh, yeah.
What you learn about her is that...
So, is the part of the deal that, like, she can't see her child or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, the child will live, but she can't see her. So, it's like this...
It's a monkey's paw.
Yeah, it's this win-lose, like, horrible deal that nobody should take, but now she's stuck with this magical shack in the woods. And so, her magical shack also travels with her. So, she's able to bring it to this farm with her. And so, long story short about what this whole idea with the farm is, when the auntie got attacked, the only way to preserve the lives of all the superheroes is to take them off Earth. And for 10 years, they have been in stasis chambers. And this farm is an illusion that Dragonfly created.
Oh.
So the stasis chambers are on Colonel Weird's ship.
Okay.
So Colonel Weird and Dragonfly kind of made this deal together to like, look out for each other and whatever. And so
But she made this stasis world where if you leave these bounds, you'll die. Or is Black Hammer not actually dead?
No, he's dead.
Oh,
But
okay.
I guess it's more of like if you wake, she doesn't want you to wake up out of the stasis. So I guess Black Hammer did, and she killed him.
I see.
Now I should also mention, I totally just forgot, Lucy herself, she picks up her father's hammer and becomes a new Black Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she does, more digging and starts not trusting Madame Dragonfly as much. And then, of course, you learn that everything is fake. That's why that's why the village library has no, recorded history for the village. That's why the village library has no recorded history for the village. And everything, so Tammy, that Abe fell in love with, the priest that the Barbalian fell in love with.
Yeah.
None of it was real. And then
but so she created this universe for them to protect them,
because the only way to stop the anti-god, for whatever reason, the anti-god was so hell-bent on killing the superheroes that the only way to save the Earth is to take them off of it.
I see.
So maybe the
she is playing
anti-god,
some sort of like benevolent role, though.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is after they all wake up out of the stasis, and they're all flipping out, as they rightfully should. They've been living a lie for 10 years. And they all eventually go back to Spiral City, and you see like they all start living their lives again.
Mm-hmm.
So like Abe, I believe when he returns to Spiral City, he becomes like a museum security guard. And Golden Gale is, they're all up to something. They're all just living a new life. I think Gale, she ages.
Are
she
they
gets
going
old.
for like superhero roles, or they're just trying to integrate into
No, they're done with the hero
society.
life. They're just integrating back into society. And then, of course, all of them being on Earth, the anti-god is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just this idea that if they're on Earth, nobody is safe. Because for whatever reason, the anti-god is like, he has their mark on the heroes.
Yeah.
So while they're just living their normal life, I think they forget. Madame Dragonfly wipes all their minds of this horrific event. So when Abe, he just wakes up one day and he's always been a museum security guard. Or Golden Gale wakes up and she's in a nursing home and she's like 80 years old and she's always been that way, But Lucy, the new Black Hammer, she remembers. So she starts rounding them all up, and they go
what's the benefit of wiping their memory, though?
I think they ask her to. They're like, you created this lie for us. Take us out of it.
Yeah, okay.
And she does it. She's like, I'm sorry. She does it. And then Lucy, Black Hammer, rounds them all up again. The anti-god, once again, is coming to Earth. And the only way, what they all decide is for Madame Dragonfly to put them all back into an illusion world. Which is really
back
interesting.
On the ship.
Back on the ship. Or I don't even know if it's back on the ship or just
away from Earth.
I guess it'd have to be back on the ship.
Would it have to keep moving to avoid because the anti-god would just find them wherever.
That's what I
right?
think. Yeah. They don't really say, but you know the ship is in deep space. It's always on driving or flying. So, the anti-god's probably just like running behind. But so
all-powerful God can't catch up to a spaceship.
So Madame Dragonfly, puts them all back into a better place that they would all rather be in. And it's cute, because Abe is able to get his happy life with Tammy. And because Gale had such a hatred for Dragonfly kind of sweetened the deal even more for her, because so she made it so Gale was a little girl again.
Mm-hmm.
But she also made it that Sherlock Frankenstein was in this illusion world, but as a little boy. So they
Why does she have to be a little girl?
because she was like 90 and was gonna die.
Oh, okay.
So now
Alright.
I guess like perpetually they're children.
Yeah,
but
I
they
don't
get
know
to
if
like
that's... Is that better?
I guess so. They seem happy.
Okay.
And it's just a very interesting ending to a very interesting superhero book. And I would like you to read it for yourself one day, and I'd like other people to read it because I think it's very different from Invincible and The Boys.
Yeah.
And it's not as super heroic. It's more of just these people dealing with this situation, but they have this heroic.
It's even like a cool allegory for like a DC crisis,
It is. I didn't even think about that. It is like a crisis.
Yeah.
And like this new illusion world they're in is like the reboot.
Yeah.
That's actually, never really thought about that.
Hmm.
But I think just, what really I love about it is seeing the Jack Kirby, like, I love the Black Hammer, Asgardian new god, Jack Kirby influence. I think that's so cute. Just because I love Jack Kirby, I feel like he deserves more. Like, everybody remembers Stanley,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody knows Jack Kirby, but I feel like without Jack Kirby, you wouldn't get how anybody looks at all.
Yeah.
He's the designer of it. Stan is the yapper. He's the one who makes the words they say convincing and interesting.
That was the that one Fantastic Four, right? Jack Kirby was the creator of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Kirby deserves so much more than I think he got.
But and it is nice to see a comic book that's acknowledging its existence as a comic book while not being evil Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody is like an evil version of themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a Scarlet Witch allegory, but she became evil way before this book.
And it doesn't seem like she's even evil in this book.
No, like, she's definitely has her dark side, and she's a little more nefarious, I suppose, but it's kind of for a good reason.
I think, yeah, she's more like with the ends justifying the means.
Exactly. And I
necessarily evil.
Yeah, I remember when I first read this series, I fell in love with it, and then rereading it to do this episode just made me realize how much I enjoyed it, and how good the art is, and the whole universe, the whole universe that surrounds it. I definitely recommend it to
what would you
anybody.
rate it?
I would give it a Klein 9. I think it's a really enjoyable, really fun, haunting, horrifying, gross at points. But
What keeps it from being a Kevin Levin for you?
I think maybe the ending is a little... I think it's a good ending, and it definitely makes sense because it's not an action-packed book. If they just have a big action scene and fight the anti-god, it's like, okay, sure, that's cool. And this goes for more of like a, I don't know, like...
It is almost like, and it seems like they steer away from it a bit, but it is almost like it was all a dream kind of ending.
But it's like that idea, but when the characters learn it was all a dream, they don't just, like, they get put back into it because they want to. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen it where I've been living a lie, but, like, put me back. Like, you stole my life.
Yeah.
Okay, put me back. Like, it's
like Keanu Reeves is gonna go back into the Matrix.
Yeah. Like, it's, I don't know. I think the ending might leave a little something to be desired. Mm-hmm. But it's a good ending. Yeah. For a great series. And I think the mystery of it is good, even though you kind of know that some, like, Madam Dragonfly and maybe Colonel Weird are, like, behind it in some way. And they don't really bury the lead with it. Because there's, like, the Tammy, her ex-husband who's a sheriff, he is like, Abe, you better stay away from my woman. Our divorce isn't finalized. And then Madam Dragonfly, like, turns him into goo. And then it's from there, it's like, oh, okay, so she's, like, bad. You know, she's
Yeah.
like turning people into goo. That's not good. And then the people of the town are like, did Abe kill the sheriff? And he gets like framed for murder.
Oh, really?
I mean, not in a way where they like arrest him or anything, but Tammy is like, did you kill my ex-husband? And they kind of like drift apart. So it adds like that romantic, like, oh no, you know, it's all drama. it's all drama.
That seems to be the crux of this book.
It is. It's
all drama.
This would be a great like Amazon Prime one season, 2-season show.
It's not too like there's not a lot of action to it. It seems so. It's like,
and you could do like a good practical barbarian,
more intrapersonal than
Get James Gunn to do it. He'll make a great Black Hammer.
That would be cool. I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Get, like seeing how he did the robots in Superman. Got talkie-walkie right there. Looks interesting. But
I do love the designs. The character designs for all of them are phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it. But would you read this? I know you read.
I'm going to continue reading it.
Yeah.
It's definitely very interesting. It gives me big time Hellboy vibes.
Yeah. And that's like I think a great selling point. Like if you like Hellboy, you will probably like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite independent or Dark Horse series. Something I like to return to every so often.
How many times have you read it?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Shelf podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Vinny.
And join us next time when we read a couple more books 3 or 4 times. You know what's crazy? I think I've said that before.
Have you really?
I feel like I have.
Like 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shit. Every day is the same.